Hello everyone!
Hey!
And welcome to Uncut Gaming.
Where we don't edit our videos,
But we
except when we do, which is now.
Yeah. We're trying a new format where we are cutting the video into 3 parts. The overview in first round, the full playthrough, the rest of the playthrough, and a review video. So 3 videos.
Yep.
So that you'll be able to more easily jump around to the parts that you like and to get the videos down in length.
So tell us if you have any thoughts on the new format.
Yep.
And let's go on with
the review. So we just finished a game of
Artemis
Project, right? If you want to look at the overview in first round or the rest of the playthrough, there will be links down in the description below. Otherwise, let's just talk about the game.
Yes. So components-wise, this game is adorable. I like the board. It's very tiny but extremely functional.
Yes.
And I also like the theme of 2 sections because the game does have a distinct first 3 rounds you get buildings that help you build the engines, and the other 3 rounds you get buildings that help you gain the VP. And those are thematically divided into buildings that are underground and buildings that are above ground, which is also why the board is divided into areas of expeditions and resource, whereas opposed to areas of building and personnel. And it's really cute. I appreciate the touch, divided in the middle by the points tracker. It's pretty art-wise. It's fun to look at. It's fun to just, oh, why did they do this? Oh, because of that. Great. Highly appreciated.
In terms of art, yeah, I agree. I like the art style, and I like the little text that they put on the different cards that tell a little story.
It's just cute enough.
Yeah, it's really, you can just bypass it entirely, but if you actually read it, it makes a lot of sense. So that's really cute, both on the expedition cards and the event cards. And there are a lot of them. As you can see, there's a whole pile of expedition cards, and there is a pile of event cards.
So they went to lengths to make this
and
cute and inviting.
They all have unique pictures on them, I think. Yeah.
Components-wise, they're a bit standard, but it doesn't matter.
It's
they're
excellent.
Cute and they're functional.
And
it works.
And I appreciate a board that is not overly big, so that you have a room for a. This is actually a 5-player game.
Yeah.
So there's
plenty of table room, which is nice. There's also
a not really functioning spaceship.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to get the exact number of people you want from this. And it leads to the point where you're like trying to scratch, and then you're looking, and then you're cheating or not cheating. Like
the game does come with a bag if you want to go back to the bag.
Yeah, we keep it because it's cute, but I think that once we're done filming this, we'll go back to the bag because it just gives you the accuracy and the ability to not cheat.
Gameplay?
This is a medium game. And I think that as a medium game, it really works nicely. It's very inviting. It's very intuitive. It does have a bit of player conflict, which adds fun to it. But unless you use the downright cruel buildings, which we usually remove, the ones with the sniper icon mean that you do something to another player. So this card, for example, is you force another player to lose up to 3 minerals, and you gain 2 energy. We usually remove them because we find that directly negative player interaction is detrimental to our enjoyment of a game. But if you put that aside, the fact that it's very confrontational and you constantly outbid each other, because being the first in any region means that someone else might not get all the resources they need. So that's... If you really don't like any conflicts in your games, then you have to put that in mind, but it doesn't feel bad in this game. You can usually mitigate it, you can look at other players die, and if you were completely blocked out of getting something, you get a relief track, and these bonuses are actually quite good. So it's really not a bad thing. Usually what you get from the relief track is probably similar or the equivalent in value of what you were denied.
Yeah. I like the fact that no matter your die roll, you'll be fine. You just have to play with what you have, which is a little puzzle for every round.
Yeah, high numbers are extremely good for some things and horrible for others. and low numbers are very good for other things. So whatever you get, you'll manage to make a good round out of it.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that the turns are pretty quick. You just place a die, you'll worry about activation later.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. And like always, I do like having my own buildings, which grant me specific abilities that are unique to me.
Yep. You like having your own tech.
Yep.
I do find that the movement mechanism between
Swapping
swapping is a bit too restrictive. There's one building that lets you swap there are two buildings, if I'm not mistaken, that let you swap multiple people. There was another one here where you have to pay a resource somewhere.
Okay.
I could be wrong. That's what I remember. But it's very restrictive. I'm not a fan of this. I think they would have benefited from giving you more as the game progressed.
Okay.
But that doesn't really matter. It's not a deal breaker. It just means you have to plan ahead well.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
Who would you recommend this to?
Yeah, that's where I was headed. It's a great game for newcomers to the
what?
hobby because it's medium. But it doesn't necessarily feel medium. It won't take you a long time to explain. Everything is very, very well streamlined, and you can just let people have fun with it without worrying too much. There are very few minute rules, and I think that with the exception of this region where you can add people from your shelters to the expedition, which is clunky and barely used. Like, we use it for the basics, but we never use it aggressively or anything like that. Just, if you ignore this area, everything is streamlined, everything is easy to explain, and everything just has everything written on it. What you need, what you get. So you can just put people who are not very light gamers, people who are capable of playing medium games, just put them with this on the table and they'll have a blast. It's a fun game. So yeah, recommended to people who want something that's not an extremely dry Euro in feeling, but has the same mechanisms.
Yeah, so to me, it's also a very good game. I really appreciate this game. I think it's an excellent game. I think that and I think I mentioned this after our first play, it sort of reminds me of Anachrony.
Right? Yeah, but it's much lighter.
I know, but it has the same kind of things that I like about Anachrony, where you sort of send your people off to various places, and then you collect them back, and you have your unique buildings and all. So if you like Anachrony, which I know is a lot deeper, a lot more complex than this, then you should probably take a look at this, because it sort of packs the same experience in a short amount of time with less brain power. So that's a good thing. If you want something that feels, that makes you feel like you've done something, that you've thought you've solved a puzzle, but you don't want to necessarily spend all of your energy because maybe it's relatively late, let's say, then you could definitely consider this game as a good option for that. Otherwise, I do agree that players who have experience with medium light Euro games will definitely should look at this game as sort of a half step up in terms of complexity, because it's very rewarding to its level of complexity.
Yeah, it's also something that encourages player interaction, both positive and negative.
Yeah, right.
So
that's also true.
If you find
for the expeditions,
that you don't click with games that are too solo-ish, where the only action you do is block other people, yeah. If you don't like that kind of game, then you should definitely give this a try, because it's fun. There's banter around the table. People are talking. People are shocked that someone outbid them and stuff like that. It's cute, and it's not overly negative because you're always compensated for those actions.
Do you want to talk about player scaling? We've played this with 2 and 3, I believe.
Did I only play it in 4?
I don't think so. I do want to mention that
it's the Alzheimer. It's the age.
I do want to mention that in 2-player, it feels a little
zero-summy,
too predictable. And then we can calculate what will happen if I go to the expedition or you won't, and we could look at the die. When there are more people, it's harder to think about it, and it may increase the tension, in the sense that you're hoping for something to happen, but you're not really sure whether it'll happen or not. So it adds a little unknown to the game, which for my taste is better.
Yeah.
So I do think that it scales out pretty well upwards. Again, we haven't played it with 4 or 5, so we can't really speak to the length of the game or anything. But it's okay at 2. I think it's better at 3.
I don't think that the game will be much longer and a higher number of players inherently. It depends on the players, because there's a lot of player interaction. People may take their time either to think or to talk or to argue. So that does come in, but I don't think it'll inherently lengthen the game. That being said, what you mentioned is true. This is a very low scoring game.
Yes.
So in 2 players, it's a bit predictable and a bit of a zero-sum game, but it's not that bad. It's still fun.
Yeah.
There are games that we don't play in 2 players at all because of that.
Yeah.
And here it didn't feel as bad. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you're looking for a medium game and one that encourages player interaction.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend it from me.
Yeah, for me as well. It's a very good game. It's it's not top 10 maybe, but it's a very, very good game. I would recommend it for everybody.
This doesn't get sold anytime soon.
No. It stays in the collection. It's really fun. All right, so we hope you enjoyed this review, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.